All right, welcome back to our English desk. Don't worry, I'll give you some legs right here. Welcome, everybody. We got Parker, we got Jack, and we have game number 2 of LGD Gaming versus LGD.Forever Young. It's been hyped so far. And
were the Chinese showing some leg? Did I miss that?
I don't know. I mean, I think according to chat, all they saw was leg. So
They were. A good portion of Chinese stream chat will always comment on
the leg.
legs if and when legs are being shown.
Female legs, male legs, any legs?
Female legs.
Okay.
Occasionally on male legs if something weird odd is going on,
hairless?
but usually female legs.
Okay. Fair enough. So pretty similar to the English audience. Pretty damn similar.
Dude, call the guy legs. Don't sell him short.
Let me get him back out there one more time.
Yeah.
Boom!
Oh.
I got my socks up high. This is the late night.
In fact, one of the Chinese stream
Sweatpants
memes
cat.
is that one of the girls, at least, the stream chat will say they want to lick her legs, skinny legs, so much until they're basically they're. This is gonna sound really weird, but it's like I want to lick them so badly until like the bone breaks or something. So that sounds really bizarre to us, probably because it is, but. She's just like really skinny, and she just like looks like she has really frail legs, and they'll just be like, no, I'm not making this up, guys. I'm not just like off my rocker at 4 a.m. here. That's literally what the meme is.
This is what all the Chinese Twitch chat's saying, Jack. I'm sure this isn't you.
That
All
is
right, buddy.
actually, for those of you who understand, you know what I'm talking about. Tian Guza, if you've heard it, go over to the Chinese chat. You know I'm not making
What's
this
up,
up.
lady?
That's just how could I even make that up? That's just too. It's too odd to make up.
Well, someone made it up. Someone started it, Jack.
Someone started it.
There's
That's right.
some poor soul out there who was the first to type
that. There's a depraved human out, and there are many more poor souls who followed along. So, yeah, that's how these things go.
That sounds less like Chinese Twitch chat, more like Chinese 4chan. I'm going to be honest. I don't know.
All right, thank you, Jack. Please do not lick my legs, chat. All right, so LGD and LGD.Forever Young. We got a draft. Let's get into it here. Earth Spirit, my boy. I'm already very happy.
Afu, Earth Spirit. Yeah, let's talk some Dota.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
I mean, you know, nowadays throwing the Earth Spirit out in the first phase almost can feel, I don't want to say full risk, but it can be a little risk because you don't know, obviously, a lot from the other team yet. You don't know if the mid laner is someone you can easily, jump onto. You don't know if the off laner is going to have some sort of either way too much ridiculous durability or some sort of escape mechanism. Like, he doesn't even know if he's going to have a lot of good options in the early game yet.
That's the faith they have in Afu. They will first phase Afu just about every time.
Or, you could have settled for the trusty Sand King, let's say. But no, I like that. So that means that they got a little bit of, swagger.
For sure.
A little bit more mobility, I guess. Maybe less of that bullying presence, but a little bit less item dependent as well. To get some things, not that Sand King's item dependent, but like that blink is like a big power spike for him. It does help a lot with the Earth Spirit as well, but it feels like he can move around more and get more mileage out of that early on. And then this most likely is going to be an in-flame, off-lane puck as well.
Yeah, so already got 2 Cadillacs of vehicles here for maybe a life stealer down the line. I mean, these are some sweet rides here.
Like the way
Jack, to you, what's a sweet ride? What's a sweet ride to you? Like, if you see a car, like, what's your sweet ride car right now?
See, I don't know too much about cars, but I mean, I can't really think of anything that comes to mind.
The Metro. Are you more a Metro kind of guy?
Yeah, you're an East Coast New York guy, so you probably didn't even have a car. You didn't have a car, probably.
I had a really old CRV, but yeah, in New York City you take the train most of the time. Although the MTA is kind of old and shabby and falling apart. I mean, when you have a 100-year-old subway system, it's hard to keep maintaining that thing and building new infrastructure. I don't know how we got to this, but yeah, the New York subway. Step it up, MTA.
So what's a sweet ride then, Jack? I know I've been on the part of the MTA for a while, or used to be. So, but wait, what would be a sweet ride? Dodge Viper, Lambo.
All right,
Porsche.
All right, we're gonna talk about sweet rides. Let's do
bus.
this. Let's do this. In China has one of the more developed mass train systems in the world. I really like that because I don't like flying, and so you can go anywhere. You can go to Hong Kong, you can go to Beijing in just a few hours. They have basically maglevs and high-speed trains. There's a lot of room there. It's more spacious than on a plane. There are people walking up and down the aisles with selling food and snacks and stuff. It's very comfortable. It's nice, and so if you ever get a chance, check that out because flying a lot of delays. You got to wait at the airport. You got to go in advance. In China, the trains connect just about everywhere, every major and minor city. It's very nice. We don't really have that stateside, at least not at this point. So, sure, there you go. That's my
a speed train.
Yeah.
cool.
Someone was telling me you can get a train. Was it you? You can get the train all the way from like Paris to like Malaysia or something. Like you get the from London. You go London to Malaysia, going through like China and stuff. There's like a train from London to Paris, the one that goes under the water. Then from Paris you go like all the way to like freaking Eastern Europe. Then you go to like Shanghai or something. And the trains apparently you can connect on different train lines from London all the way to Malaysia.
Well, I'm not sure about Malaysia, but I do know that there is. I looked this up because Kiev. I was actually seriously considering this. There is the Trans-Siberian Express.
Oh yeah.
It is a week-long train that goes from Beijing, I believe, through Mongolia and all the way to Moscow.
I don't know about multi-day train rides, guys.
I have friends who've done that. Highly recommend it.
Express.
It's like a holiday train. You just sit there. You're drinking vodka all day long. You're just chilling, chatting with friends. You can't do anything.
It better
it's
be
like
a nice train, like where you can shower and stuff. Because a lot of those long train rides, you have to pay a lot of money to be able to sleep or to shower. Otherwise, you're sitting there on a bench like this on your laptop, smelling after 4 days. You don't want to be near anybody.
You got like Wi-Fi, showers, beds. You know, it's like you're in a hotel room, except you're on a train going through Siberia. You know, it's great.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
You know, whereas you could just be there in like a day on a plane and enjoy the other 6 days actually there.
It doesn't have the same charm to it.
Yeah,
you
of
get to
course.
pass by Siberia by rail car. I mean, how many
Yeah,
times in your life can you do
I
that?
rode the trains across country once. Yeah. There's a story and experience for it if that's what you're into. Let's get back into Dota, guys. So we got a couple more picks. Since then, we saw the AA come out, so magic amplification to go along with the Puck and the Earth Spirit's pretty swell. And some good extra team fight there.
LFY. This is full bog.
That's a superhero. Through and through.
Yeah,
this is more of the bog we've come to expect from the AA that they run quite a bit. There's the tanky mid-core who pushes objectives, and then like you can hold people in position. The initiation from this team is very potent, and with like the combo coming in from very far away as well. So they can start a fight at any time and like instantly have like the presence of like 2 or 3 heroes there and keep people in place and kill them, which is the essence of the bog.
What's the
have the objective taking to make you to threaten you as well?
The boggiest safe laner, I guess you can get then.
The boggiest safe laner. Some things that come to mind. I don't know. Like a Void is kind of boggy. Like he's got the slow. He's not going to be picked this game. I don't know. Something like a Viper or something that'd be pretty boggy as well. I don't think they'd go with that direction here though.
Maybe a Razor.
And, if it's against the bat, I mean, you mentioned the Lifestealer, which hasn't been banned. Like I think it is a solid choice there potentially. They could end up going for something like a Weaver as well. There is some lockdown for him, but in terms of being able to get rid of the Rasta Wars, being able to slice to the back lines and like not be with his team at the start of the fight, but be able to come around and just pick people off, I think that's a decent choice because that presents like control difficulties for LGD. It's like if they want to take a frontal fight, dump all their spells, what do they have left to deal with something like a Weaver that comes later on into the fight? So a couple possibilities there.
They may want like a stun to go with the AA is the other consideration. Like you think like the Earth Spirit's not necessarily guaranteed to set up a cold feet. He may just want to help out the mid lane. So if you want like a kill combo with an AA +1, AA Weaver, you've got some synergy with like the Gemini with Chilling Touch, but I feel like the big thing is having a stun cold feet, like the Sven or a Lifestealer Open Wound. Lifestealer Open Wounds isn't even a great example because of the cast range, but Sven's the big hero I feel like we've seen run successfully with AA quite a lot.
Final pickup for LGD. Before that, though, is a Gyrocopter here. So now you get some respectable additional team fight, magical burst, your BKB holder.
That maybe increases the value of the Lifestealer. I feel like a lot of Gyro's early mid-game damage is going to be magical, and then you have the vehicles, which you mentioned very early on in the draft, Dakota. So it's going to be hard to burst this hero down. The timing of going after him is going to be very difficult. Otherwise, you don't have the damage, physical damage at all to try and fight him. None of these cores on LGD are really capable of man fighting in a sense where they just stand there and right click somebody, especially against a Lifestealer. So it's going to be hard for them to take this down. I like LFY's draft much more this time, and I would tend to favor them in this game.
Yep. I think the one question mark for me is maybe the offlane Puck. I think we've seen Inflame. Last game he struggled. I think often he's a player that can be very hit or miss in the offlane. He'll have games where he does really well, high impact, controls the tempo, then he'll have games where he's 0-5 in 10 minutes. So depends which Inflame shows up in this next game, perhaps, at least for me. Whereas I feel like we've seen a lot more stable play come out from 11's offlane throughout this tournament.
Yeah, laning's definitely going to be a little suspect there for Inflame, and I'm also obviously curious as far as how many successful roams, let's say, the Earth Spirit can kind of lead in with. Ember Spirit as a ganking option is pretty good. I mean, you do have Flame Guard to kind of shrug some stuff off, but I don't know. We'll see how things pan out for LFY in their laning phase, but overall, if they can make their way into the mid-game period where you can make a lot of use out of those level 6s, those vehicles, your first lifestealer debut into the game, you can pretty much be unstoppable at that point, I'd imagine, with that much momentum and just go all the way into the win.
Yeah, I expected Inflame to have a better time this game. Like, the Shadow Shaman with the reduction in range just feels a little bit, as Chinese would say, short-handed against the puck. So if he plays carefully, like, I think he should get way more out of his lane than he did last game.
All right, well, let's get into it. It's game number 2 of LFY versus LGD here for the Mars TV Dota 2 League. LGD currently have the game 1 advantage, one more win, and they secure their spot into the grand final. Loser, oh god, it's going to be a long night. Loser of this goes into the lower bracket. They're not going to be eliminated.
Oh, smoked up lifestealer. Not going to happen. So 11 gets down the sentry, then runs into AA, but did not get scouted planting the sentry, so I'm not sure whether that is going to be discovered or not. Likely maybe missed. Also, there's no sentries on the Radiant team anyway, so no big deal. He blocked both camps, or just one? We'll have to see with that observer. I think that's might just be on the edge.
Yeah, that is hard. I am like looking at my monitor as close as I can. It's hard to tell even for that one. But we'll end up seeing there. We did see before that 11 able to kind of snag down that initial rune. Afu's got his Orb of Venom, so he's planning to kind of make a go to option here. But yeah, look at this. Running right in. Inflame wants to contest, and he actually does manage to grab up the bounty, so LFY will take 3 of them, and they might even take first blood here onto Ame. The right clicks continue to come out, and Afu's going to be able to secure it. Wonderful start, and they are going to get a response as the takedown's there onto the puck, but still. Good bounty snag, good first blood.
I think Yame have skilled his spell too early. If he had Shackles there instead, could have held the puck in place and secured the kill with the next Rocket Barrage. But may have already skilled his Aethershock. Typically, you do want that Aethershock as a zoning tool in the offlane, but does end up getting punished a bit by
Aethershock is probably one of the highest damage level 1 spells. I can't think of anything that really hits for more than 140 damage at level 1.
Maybe a Disruptor nuke is kind of similar, I think. If you get if you add up all the ticks, but
3 people with Chilling Touch on, I don't know.
Yeah. As a dot. Yeah, the Disruptor nuke costs like what, 140 mana at level 1?
Yep.
So it's pretty nice value.
Well, brave play from Inflame's puck pays off in the end, as his team do get a first blood, even though does lose his life in the process.
Yeah, it gets them a pretty decent head start there, and their dual lane setup now with Afu kind of hanging by his side is warranted the full attention of LGD's support staff here towards the top lane now. So they pulled all the attention there. That means the mid laners get a one-on-one matchup. So I'm sure Super's going to be happy with that. Maybe is already taking charge though as far as the
top lane though. Puck, he used his orb,
and looks like he'll be punished for it.
He just orbed kind of into the trees, perhaps just to secure a last hit or something. But it did scout some heroes. But then once you throw that orb, you've got no escape. He doesn't even have his level 2 phase shift. So aggressive play this time from Inflame, not paying off.
Yeah, I was going to say the lane should look okay for him. He's got a lot more, like 20 more starting base damage than the Gyro. So in terms of last hits, like if they couldn't zone him out carefully, like he'd be able to get some farm up and slow the Gyro down, but just caught out of position and suffers his second death already this game.
Yep. Getting those levels is key for him, which Afu helps him out. He pulls a whole creep wave to the puck. He then even leaves him to solo XP.
Looks like they might have gotten maybe here. Nice rotation over from Victoria. Helps set up the Fisher, but a good rotation in from Afu should reward him a return kill onto Maybe, and there it is. But still, maybe he's able to participate in that first bit of bloodshed. Get some XP at least.
He's been in the right place twice now. First top now in the mid lane. Will not be rewarded with bottle charges. Super, come on. Bottle your bro.
He's like, germs. Afu's like, I'm going to roll all the way back anyways. So yeah, he's happy. He got that first blood, so he got boots early. He's able to participate in a couple of kills. He's going to be near level 3, so be happy if I was at our Spirit mid lane. A little bit of trades under the tower, but top lane, a move onto Inflame here. He has the orb on hold, and will be able to get himself a safe distance. Anyways, Jack, sorry.
Afu's been kind of the rising star of the Chinese scene, despite not being Chinese himself. He was Malaysian, and I've heard some whisperings of, this is the next Chuan here, this Malaysian player coming over and really making waves on that kind of force support. He's played really well and kind of been part of the resurgence of this team. And again, talking to WGU about it, like, yeah, they're happy for him that he managed to, find a home with really good circumstances to allow him to develop his professional career. But he was kind of the heart and soul of that team in a sense, just a really talented player. And good to see that he's over here and doing well in China.
See how the next moves are going to be at. Batrider is level 4 and a bit. Holy cow, he's doing incredibly well in this off lane. That is a surprising amount to be gained there compared to the Puck, who is level 2 and
dead.
Yeah, this off-lane battle is being very clearly won by the LGD side, and this is kind of what as soon as I saw the draft, what I pointed out, this off-lane Puck can be a big liability sometimes. I think Inflame's played a bit too aggressive, but even like a really well-played Puck can sometimes just not be able to get much out of the off-lane, and that's exactly what we're kind of seeing be the struggle here for LFY.
Yeah, he has to really second-guess his orb usage and his positioning as well. As we saw there, a Swift Shackle and Rocket Barrage, and poor little Puck will be easily done in. Bottom lane, a slow chase. A little bit of a highway pursuit here. 11 taking to the skies, trying to burn up DDC, but finds himself solidified under the cold feet, and that's when Monet sweeps in and helps clean up the kill. Baited.
Yeah. I mean, normally, you're not going to get that cold feet open wounds too easily with a 200 cast range open wounds, but Bat just walks into the lifestealer going for a kill, so you take those freebies.
Yep, the double bog slow gets him into the stun from the cold feet, and he's just done for at that point.
Yep. He does return to that bottom lane now, but mid lane, we do have rotations from supports.
Yeah, it was an unnecessary death for Bat. It was him getting too aggressive, but I think it comes as a result because of how well he's doing. End of the day, he's still doing incredibly well. He's really farmed high level as an offlaner. Boots, Windlace, level 5 in 5 minutes.
Those supports who rotated to the mid lane are now going into action. We see a good setup, but look at this. Maybe heads to the LFY side to go for a TP and makes it out.
Wow.
What a play from the wizard himself, as we saw at the summit.
Inflame may have died again during that, it looks like.
Yeah, Jack, I said 0-5 at 10 minutes. Perhaps I need to, reduce the cutoff time for that.
Yeah,
10 minutes was maybe...
You gave him too much credit, possibly.
Yeah, Inflame. Maybe
what a
you
play
know better.
Maybe though, going to the opponent's high ground for that TP. So nice play there.
And it's nighttime, so there was no vision, so they couldn't actually get the low ground to high ground hit. Another stun on maybe, but
he just picked up 6, so he's got lasso now.
Oh, they kick him back to safety. I love the move there from Afu. It does cost him his life, and they'll end up getting the DK regardless. It was a valiant effort, the Martyr, but it's 11 who scores a double kill now on that battle.
What a timely rotation from him. Usually you don't expect the offlaner, who's busy either in the jungle as Bat trying to get his blink or waiting for his items to make that rotation. He comes in there at level 5 in the middle of a fight and then picks up level 6 as the skirmish is going on, which gives him the lasso and basically just collects there. So LGD looking very sharp so far in this series.
Some sort of
as the people say, today is the dynastic day for LGD, and then tomorrow they'll look terrible and fulfill the prophecy again.
Well, they'll be in that grand final. So you're saying they're going to go 0-3 in the grand finals. Okay, Jack, thanks.
I believe so. That is what the people have said. You can't discount the heavens, gods.
Okay. I mean, right now I believe it. I'm seeing how this game's going, and the previous LGD are following that line of thinking.
Yeah, crushing him already here. Ame's going to even work through a side stack in addition to the lane, and oh man, no! Inflame! It does get bailed out from Afu, who was able to step in with a good stun, but suddenly eats a lot of damage. We'll have to back off. This time Inflame will be saved.
Do a shrine so they won't be completely donezo as far as having to head back to base, but definitely looking like a tough lane.
Oh yeah, we saved our boss. Let's hit the showers. Keep our job. It's going to be a struggle though. Do you valiantly just hold this lane as the Puck until you can somehow put together the scraps of a Blink Dagger or anything?
He needs farm, he needs levels, and he can't jungle, so yeah.
You just got to stick with it.
Level 6, you can rotate, or you have teammates rotate to you, but yeah, he does have to stick with it. Perhaps we'll just see this Earth Spirit spend more time staying behind him so he can save his life, as we just saw, but Earth Spirit doesn't want to do that. He wants to be active looking for kills. He's quite happy to roam.
Their supports are just so little right now. But earlier I checked EDC, he was level 3. It seems like he's been able to pick up a bounty rune and hang in a lane for a bit, but you know, still holding a bit of the basics here. So the level 6 is maybe delayed a little bit here from the side of LFY. Arcane Rune bottled here for maybe at the moment. Now level 8. And he is going to build into the Veil, so he's all about the magic one.
His entire team is a lot of magic damage. Gyro and Bat both dish out heavy magic damage, so definitely better game than last for the Veil, considering last game was like the Magnus teamfight lineup. This one's much more about the heavy nukes, but definitely seeing all kinds of different Ember builds.
Yeah, he still prefers to go for that kind of magic core, and that's something we've noticed as a general trend out of LGD, whether it was the Medusa, whether it's the Mirana that maybe has played, like still kind of goes for that like magic damage core, even though it's maybe fallen out of fashion a little bit generally. I feel like as we see maybe going here onto
Solo
it's a spirit fight. Super does step in, but that is when the Remnant out.
It's interesting because when that happens, like he ends up picking a mid core that doesn't scale, we would think as well. Like especially if you go like magic damage Mirana, it just has scaling issues because you end up having to be in melee range next to people with Ags to deal lots of damage. And then additionally, if we're talking about like with the Ember Spirit, like maybe now the physical scaling is a little bit better, but it takes more time to come online and get what you need, as we see.
None other than Inflame.
I was like 0-5, 10 minutes in. If he
got 20 seconds. Oh well,
yeah,
you made it. You made it. He can't possibly live and die again unless he buys back, which he can't afford to do.
Here we go.
Well played.
But I'm definitely enjoying seeing maybe on a lot more. I mean, the Death Puff was great. I think he played it perfectly. It was a much more strategic pick, but this is more like the playmaking hero perhaps people are more used to seeing him on. I mean, he's just able to dive towers, be aggressive. He's able to soak up ganks and still get away. He dives a tower there, dodges a DK stun, gets back to the jungle. He just feels a lot more in his element on a hero like this.
Yeah, and I think at least if he goes for the Veil, there's such great synergy with the rest of his lineup. You see that in their mid picks as well. So with the Gyrocopter, obviously the buttloads of magic damage their team does.
Bat gets a kill, but may pay for it.
Yes, he will.
His life still does some serious damage.
But Bat does have the blink, and I believe that was the blink show.
No, they did have the blink on that jump for Inflame earlier.
Okay. Oh, the creep. Trying to get out of that.
They got him. Blasted it apart, blocked him in with the fissure. They're going to commit the call down for this one. He is able to rage and run. Super shows up. He doesn't have that dragon form quite yet, but they're able to get the attention onto Ame and finish him off with the help of the cold feet. The rest of LGD quickly spread.
Good bait from the lifesteal to draw them in as deep as he did. Mono's been very effective on this hero, getting multiple kills on the Bat. Quite a farm Bat, and also setting up that additional kill on Gyro.
Yeah, that's going to be, as we talked about pregame, one of the stories of this game. How do you deal with this lifestealer? And when you have the Gyro as well opting for the phase boots over the treads, he's a squishy hero, which may have prevented people from picking him for quite a bit. Like, he's got a lot of magical bursts, and he does well in lane against a lot of matchups, but he is still kind of squishy at the end of the day.
Roll in. He dropped the boulder, but didn't do the grip. He'll have to settle with kicking in the Bat. He grips right there. There's the lasso grab on the Monet, but Bat can't go anywhere with it, so he just gets torched up. Speaking of getting torched, maybe jumps in and finishes off the Earth Spirit, so it's a trade 1-1. But the tower also does go down for LFY.
Mid lane, Shaman's going to sneak a little cheeky tier 1 himself.
Nice.
It's a dream. You come alive as a Shaman, you see
Back
this empty lane.
bottom, call down onto maybe. He actually gets dropped here. Victoria looking to move in onto Super, but Super has that dragon form back up. So very difficult fight. LGD might need to get out while they can. Inflame, I need to get a kill. So drops down the coil. They'll get the secure. 10-8 advantage for LGD on this one. Nope. But LFY, you know, still kicking.
Yeah, people have talked a lot about how LFY seems to have more success with these kind of beefy, meaty cores, and we're definitely seeing that this game. The cores have done much of the heavy lifting so far.
And what we're seeing right now is just their strength of their composition. Jack and myself definitely like their draft as a whole, and we can see the issues in the mid game right now dealing with a life stealer. They've got all magic damage against magic immunity in the Life Stealer. He's dishing out a lot of damage with this early armlet, and once Deso's up, he's going to have good vehicles just to jump in. Theoretically, hopefully Puck has a Blink Dagger by then. If not, he may just rely on like the Earth Spirit roll. DK could theoretically... I think the treads drums into Blink has become kind of the common DK build. So we could see plenty of ways for Lifesteal to get into these fights.
And then if you move the Earthshaker to support for Victoria, so he went Arcane Boots as well, so he's not going to have his Blink up until closer to the 20-minute mark. Same with the Shadow Shaman. So there isn't that kind of instant speed initiation except from the Bat Rider, and then like the window you have for killing someone like Lifestealer at this point is much smaller.
Lots of attention to the bottom lane here from LFY as they also roll in Afu, who could try to get another initial setup for him. Nearby is 11, and he will show himself now in the lane. Are they going to go for the roll? Yes. Committing in, but can't get close enough. He tried to go for the follow-up stun, but 11's quick to blink away.
Needs his 4-star. I think if you're LGD, you kind of sit back and stop going for these fights and kills, because the 4-staff is essential against the open wounds, against the cold feet, even against like the Earth Spirit who rolls in. There's all this slow that you need to get away from, and that's where getting 4-staffs is going to be key for this Dire team.
Alright, interesting. A Yule Scepter now queued up for maybe next, after completing that Veil. So
he has really favored that Yule Scepter in almost whatever mid that he plays, including going for it on Mirana, I believe, like after Aghanims. It's been a real favorite pickup for him, and I think that just like, so he goes for, as they say in Chinese, like the certain itemization. There's like the frontline combat itemization, and then there's like the acrobatics, like circus itemization kind of. And the Yules and Blink definitely is obviously the circus route, right? But if you think about what it does, like it basically is like an extra round of tempo, so what you can either save yourself from some spells, or let's say the AA, some slow acting spells, the Puck ult, it just buys you an extra round of time or negates a spell, or it gives you an extra something else to set up for your own spells and blowing up an opponent or keeping them in place at least. So we see maybe just with that tremendous mechanical skill that he possesses, use that quite well.
Great little rotation in there from LFY. They infest up Afu, they drop the ward, they see the vision of the gyro, so they roll in and get the gank.
Meanwhile, top though.
Yep, there might be a gank the other side here. In flame, orbs in lane, and that will lead to disaster. The fissure though, blocking out Yao. Uh-oh. That opportunity is gone.
Yeah, Victoria was trying to fissure to let the Shaman walk in, but in the end, Yao actually got the Hex off without needing the fissure, and then when the initiation doesn't start the way you think it's going to start, things get a little messy. But it's going to be a tough kill always with their... They would have committed an Echo for it. Would have been worth it.
Well, everybody from LFY seems to be making the long trip up there, with the exception of Monet. It looks like he'll take his business down to the bottom to defend the tower. But the rest of LFY will head up north. 11, as you mentioned before, trying to finish off that 4 staff, so he's got his total Bat Rider kit complete. But it looks like they're holding out for a smoke play here.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. No 4 staff, no problem. If you're getting the jump, that could be solved in that fashion.
Maybe the one not in the smoke could be the bait line here for LGD. While this goes on. LFY are up top.
DK with an Invis rune, though, could lead to a guaranteed early stun initiation. Dust is not there, neither is Sentries, but Yao just nukes the wave, so he kind of reveals himself.
Yep, Super also just going to walk into the lane and take care of the wave there. So, uneventful smoke for LGD. Did look like they... Nope, that ward was already there, planted on the high ground. Oh, Coil top lane defensive to get 11 off the back of Inflame. Inflame under just a lot of pressure still this game, as he is just a little fairy trying to finish a Blink Dagger.
Yep. Bat has finished the 4 staff now. Not necessarily going to lead to any immediate smoke or gank opportunities, but just something that can block a lot of these kills from happening.
Same as we saw before onto Ame, happens again to Yao. Good roll-in setup from Afu and Monet.
He's so good with those silences. He misses the roll because Shaman jukes it, but while he's doing that miss roll, he hits him like mid-roll with a silence from the side.
Yeah, that's just the great gap closing. from the Earth Spirit that Jack was highlighting a bit during the draft, comparing him to the Sand King. You'll get close and not connect with the roll, but you're close enough to get an easy grip or smash.
Yeah, it doesn't require the blink at this point in the game to still like be able to have that impact, especially if you have slower and more immobile supports like the Earth Spirit and the Shadow Shaman. It's especially annoying for you to deal with that.
Really feels like LGD are just kind of playing keep away. They've got limited solutions for Life Stealer. The Dragon Knight's pretty tanky and beefy. We've seen Puck even be hard to kill, so they are playing the split push game. This kind of squishy Mask of Madness build from Gyrocopter, I feel, has kind of limited his ability to fight this early on. At the same time, I don't think there was a clear item that would have changed that all too much. Maybe, I mean, going straight SMY could have perhaps been a different approach to it, but then maybe he feels like he's going to fall off in terms of farm and not keep up with the Life Stealer, the DK, etc.
Yeah, I may pretty much always goes Mask of Madness on Gyro.
Okay.
It's a build that some players use, but it's a little bit like Mask of Madness on Luna in the sense that both heroes carry a lot of like magical bursts early on to help them in skirmishes, but they want to have that farming speed as well. Like you want to be able to zip around the map as Luna and like casually farm out waves very quickly, and then also flash farm and clear out stacks or jungle, and that's kind of what the Mask of Madness allows. It gives him sustain for hitting those creeps, and then it gives him like attack speed on demand as he's clearing out a stack right now.
I think the nice thing, similar to Luna, is even if you're going to fight early, once you throw your ulti in that first Rocket Barrage, then you just pop it because your spells are on cooldown. Rocket Barrage is a bit different in that it's got a shorter cooldown than the duration of the silence, but it's still fairly close, where you can get your spells up before you pop it in a team fight. Luna's going to pop her Eclipse, right in with the Mask of Madness, same thing with the Gyro Ultimate.
It looked like there was potential setup by LGD's side to make a snipe for the Roche with Yao's wards and that Gyrocopter. He set up a ward even on the high ground to see the Shrine and that access point that LFY could use. Oh, mid lane. We have a smoke rotation here with Inflame.
It's a blink reveal on Inflame,
Yep,
and he's got
the package.
Yep. He's got the payload inside.
Can he deliver it? Yes, he can. Jumps right in beautifully onto two. One of them, Ame, quickly going to be handled, and 11 will be next. Double kill. Both of them going to DDC. He gets the jumper there at the end. Scores.
It's making all the moves.
I call that one a layup.
It was a little close, yeah. We'll give it a layup. And he definitely can't dunk, so it's a layup for sure.
Oh, actually, no, that was a jumper. That was from pretty far away. That was a three.
Yeah, don't correct me. Moving from LFY with this confidence and momentum, they can just siege away onto this tier 3. There's no split pressure coming in from LGD, and they're going to be forced to commit the wards defensively now.
Yep.
Defend them off.
Just those words just hurt to say as a Shadow Shaman. Commit the wards defensively.
Yep.
But he's not going to get many opportunities to kind of just like limp his way down the map and set up in a tower while his team is fighting elsewhere. At least not how this game is currently going, as Victoria still does not have his Blink Dagger. So once again, almost like a role reversal this game. Issues of initiation and kind of holding the line from LGD.
The last Shaman wards were used to try and steal the enemy Ancients. He took like most of a double stack. So yeah, there's been few times to actually take towers other than that sneaky mid-tier 1 he got, because LG have been very much on the back foot. May change now. They may decide enough's enough. They keep getting the jump on us. Let's flip the script and go for a smoke of our own, as 3 heroes are grouped up around this Dire Ancients area.
Yeah, 11 has the smoke. Feels like they definitely need to have a call to action at some point, but LFY are continuing to bring in some good items here. Afu has got his Blink now, so Blink Earth Spirit already making plenty of setups this game. Now has even more options to work with to close the gap and even get that Lifestealer into the action faster.
The Radiant Vision is... Yeah, that's true. The Radiant Vision's really good too now with the 2 wards around the mid lane, so any kind of smokes will be, I think, pretty quickly apparent and obvious what's going on, because those wards, if they see no one, then you're like, well, they're probably smoking to kill us.
There's also a Blink now on the Earthshaker too by LGD. He's been showing himself in lane. Does he have the Blink on hand? No, not yet. So maybe a surprise play could be there for LGD. It doesn't look like there's going to be any further sieging, so it's not going to be any sort of defensive setup. But man, LFY just already back on the offensive here. Smoked going, rolling all the way through the mid lane, maybe hoping to catch anyone from LGD farming from the southern part of the map, moving all the way up.
Yao's bottom drops the Serpent Wards just to do some split push. Pay the price for this with his life, but ultimately this is space created. He's he knew the risk going for this, and he will just focus the tower while feeding some gold with the ward. I think that's a success for him, depending what else happens after it. Gyro to the east is finding his way against Snow Spirit.
I got so excited about the wards. Oh, walk-in dunk. Not going to work out there for Victoria. Couldn't get the blink in maybe, and now it could be just disaster for LGD. They get the chomping going onto maybe on this one. Goes for the self-Yules, but as he falls down, it's going to be Super who knocks him on the head with the Dragon Tail to go for the finish. Ooh, below. Looks like they also have managed to spot out little Victoria here. I'm not sure how things started there at the beginning for LGD, but yeah, that was not the setup they wanted.
I actually like that play from LGD. It didn't end up working out well, but they saw that the puck was still bottom at the tower, dealing with the ward, so there's no puck. And then they figured a round of spells had been used with the AA ult for the previous fight. So they thought, hey, maybe there's a window for us to come in here and maybe take a fight. And it started off okay, at least initially with the kill onto support, but they weren't able to sustain that. And again, the Lifestealer's Rage, there's like no answer for that at this point in the game. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it was a good play still from LGD, but just the circumstances right now make it too hard to capitalize. And then you just saw maybe just getting right-click down there on the Ember Spirit. Tried to Yule's blink, but didn't have his blink back off cooldown in time.
He used all his spirits, I guess, aggressively. Like, they killed the Earth Spirit, but that was mostly the Gyrocopters doing, so I'm not sure where all his spirits went to, but...
Dire's Courier goes down, as does DDC.
Okay.
And he had a nice little killing spree bounty that maybe he's going to be happy to take up.
The Circus build continues as maybe has picked up a Blink Dagger, so mobility all over the place. Boot to Travel is next.
All of with the exception, of course, the magical burst power he's able to bring, but most of the right-clicky physical kind of damage, that seems to be all in the gyro then.
That is likely to be the case, and perhaps they're just going to try and deal with the magic community through stuff like Lasso, or just getting disables off, like a Blink Echo or a Hex Shackles can stop the BKB coming off or the Rage being used, so they may just say, look, let's just not go physical damage and try and outplay them using our spells. Definitely a kind of risky and hard to execute playstyle, but that's kind of, you know, that's not going to be too intimidating for a player like Maybe.
All right, Monet is able to finish out a Desolator now. It's being carried out to him. Help him a bit onto the objectives. Help him shred through Roche even faster.
Maybe look for another smoke gank here, and they take Roshan off the back of that if they're able to pick one off.
Mm-hmm. They have the blink on Super too, so yeah, he can be the vessel.
I think, so Inflame's not going to be a part of this, it looks like, unless they're going to wait for him. So I think his ideal play is to kind of show in a lane and maybe loosen LGD's guard a little bit. Like, LG are pretty much huddled at the corners of the map right now. As you can see, like, the Earthshaker standing behind the gyro. Shadow Shaman is waiting in the trees while Bat farms. Like, they're anticipating this right now. It's because nobody really showed on the map there for LFY, and so... so instead of doing that, they're saying, all right, if you guys want to hide and play the camping game, that's fine, we'll just go take Roshan. And pretty soon we'll have a DK with still a relatively fresh BKB in 9 seconds, basically banging at the front door of LGD with his ult.
Yeah. Perhaps scary, it's going to be this Deso Lifestealer who's got the Aegis now. He can bring those buildings down pretty damn fast. Perhaps something LGD just kind of gave away, I feel, because the fact they were actually showing in the side lanes, pushing out lanes, I think they realized LFY have smoked up, and that they're going to smoke up to find a pick and go for Roshan, which means they're smoking towards Roshan. You're not going to smoke and go bottom, because then you get a kill, you're miles away from Roshan. So I think LGD kind of knew what was going on and just going to play around their high ground defense, which is very scary. You've got Ember Spirit spamming spells, and the biggest hero, the Bat Rider, who can pull heroes deep into the map. You try and push with that Lifestealer, he rages, hits the tower. If you're a Bat, you can still lasso him during the end of that rage and pull him deep under the tier 4 towers and look to kill him twice, Aegis or no Aegis.
And you have Fissure behind too to create terrain and stop his teammates from following.
I actually think Aegis does not necessarily mean any kind of a high ground push is going to be successful. They still need a kill in order to really break the LGD high ground hold.
So if that's the case, it sounds like LGD are going to be permitted a decent amount of time to continue farming if they can, you know, access it on the map, which they're doing a decent job of. If you look at the overall net worth of the heroes, all the cores are pretty close to each other. This could change things a bit too, as there's a good jump in on for Super. More of just a kidnapping. It forces out the BKB, and Super's happy to chase things forward. So him and 11 will solo it out, while fellow LFY members were able to zone back the rest of the LGD. But nope, now they're able to move in. They get the quick catch burst, and suddenly Maybe's dead, just like that. And they're not done yet. They're moving in. They're able to get the urn onto Victoria. Are they going to pursue inside the base? Yao helps him out, tagging the shrine. He looks to turn for the dunk. They drop the wards, but they're still fighting forward. Monet going on in. And Yao also going to be hit with the Ice Blast and also finished off. Buybacks, can they punish him for making it away here? Does not look like it. He's already back home safely. Oh man, what a beautiful series of events for LFY.
Yeah, nice infest there, and they committed so many ults to try to bring them down, but to no avail.
Not sure what the Bat's idea was going on the DK there. That kind of sparked things going down, but the Bat was actually going to just get away with a lasso for a BKB trade, which was good, but it was more less the Bat Rider's mistake and more Ember just getting caught that really costs LGD there. The end result is not going to be any kind of a high ground push, but those buybacks at this stage do hurt, even if just coming out from an Earthshaker, as LGD for kind of the first real big lead I feel like we've seen this game. Up till now it's been kind of like, yeah, LFY have kind of been slowly getting further and further ahead, but there's Roshan into a big team fight, into a buyback. That's where the economy starts to look pretty good for LFY.
Well, LGD are back alive now, and though they've taken a hard loss, they're just going to have to get back to the drawing board on this one. Ooh, Ame confidently strutting down this mid lane, but he may be in a bit of trouble. Look at it, he just crosses right over in Flame. Catches him with a coil, but the follow-up from Victoria's there. They get the jump onto him, but Super is able to intercept. Ice Blast is going to be flying out as 11 gets a snipe pullback for the Earth Spirit. Afu is going to get handled, taken out fast. He's able to get the Magnetize off just in time, but it is going to cost them their own support. Yao is also dropped, and it's a 1-for-1 trade.
BKB is on both sides being used on the DK and the Gyro, but ultimately I think any plays that kind of are even and just delay the game out will favor LGD at this point. They are just looking to try and farm towards that 6-slotted Ember. As much as they can't deal with the Lifestealer, there's not going to be the best ways of dealing with a 6-slotted Ember if you play it well. And you've got some tools as far as stuns and silencers go, but Ember will have Lincolns, will have the Yule Scepter. He'll have ways to get out of those.
Yeah, he's got the Yules now, and the BKB duration, at least Lifestealer's not going to get it, so on the DK it's going to start to go down a bit. That lasso top, he did expect there to be more people behind 11, so he BKB'd like at what was say like the right time for preventing a death and follow-up, but ultimately there wasn't really a threat to kill him, so kind of wasted BKB charge there. So as that goes down a little bit, the DK becomes a little bit more vulnerable, but at this point the Gyro's vulnerabilities are probably the big issue for LGD.
11, a lot of trouble. Super in a great spot to catch him as he tries to escape, and LFY will get the successful pick onto 11 in the mid lane. All set up by Inflame, but good follow-up from Afu and company to help get the finish. Now pressure could be on maybe farming in the lane. Victoria is there just in case, but now Victoria is TPing out as Super begins to roll in with that Shadow Blade, but looks like he will not be able to cover enough distance. It is just something to be scared of. You know, your Ember wants to split push around. LGD are trying their best to, you know, put in this buddy-buddy system so they can feel a bit more comfortable, but still always can be a nerve-wracking thing. Oh, here we go, Inflame with the Lifestealer bomb, jumps in, quickly finishes off Yao. DDC, oh my god, what a nice Ice Blast setup, actually connects it onto 2. Oh, they also managed to find Victoria outside the base. They'll take him out as well. 50 seconds without a Blink Echo defense. This just seems all but lovely for LFY.
That was some timely picks, and no buybacks may just mean them going high ground. We just kind of touched upon Batrider being good at defending this high ground, but without the teammates, the Shaker to block the terrain, the Shadow Shaman for additional lockdown, they may not be able to actually do this. Lincolns will block the homing missile, and LFY getting some decent chip damage onto this tier 3 tower.
Jump in from Super in the Dragon, but a quick change is there from Maybe. Puts him in a spot, and the Lifestealer may have to be forced out as the lasso does come in. 11 looking to pull back the Dragon under the tier 4s here. follow-up from Inflame. LFY could be a bit distracted. He'd look to frantically run on back, but this is when maybe makes his move. Quick jump in with the Ember, and they get the blast onto Super DDC. Frantically gets off an Ice Blast, turns around, and will be able to get the finish onto the Bat Rider. He does lose his own life. The rest of LFY frantically make it out, but as you said, TP to the Shrine, and here comes Victoria and maybe Monet, though. Rage, TP out.
Got pulled in too deep there. I mean, he got pulled in deep, but he also blinked in, which was a very unnecessary play. Hit those buildings, focus objectives. It was a very un-LFY play. This is a team that normally, you know, move as 5, slowly siege and take fights that you can't avoid. The dive in from Super there. I mean, it was a team call. The lifesteal's infesting him, so you don't really know who exactly is making those kind of calls, but it definitely gets heavily punished. You blink in, you get closer already to them, the Bat Rider then pulls you into the tier 4s, and it's not just DK getting pulled in, it's the Lifestealer, so Lifestealer barely escaping on a small amount of HP as well.
Yeah, they've got to keep their eyes on the prize there. I think they just felt very confident, like they felt they're super far ahead, and there's not much that could really threaten them, and you know, you overextend and we'll get punished.
If you get that DK stun off on like a core hero like the Gyro or the Ember, perhaps you've just won the game, which is the philosophy there. They know they're that one big pick off away from just getting a lane of racks or, yeah, like I say, just completely winning the game. But the end result now is that you're back to kind of square one. You need to wait for that next Roshan. You need to wait for another good pick off or another good fight like we saw top lane. This game is still really up in the air as to who is going to take it.
Yeah, I was going to just about pose the question as far as what does this earn LGD? How much time does it give them? Is it something where LFY are going to want to, you know, put the pedal to the metal before even Roche, or is this going to grant them at least till Roche and the Aegis and, you know, that whole deal?
It's likely we see them. LFY is going to play kind of a pick-off game. They've got this Global Ice Blast. They've got a couple Blink Initiators. Dragonite's just going to be shadow blading around, maybe with an infested Lifestealer looking for picks. And if you find that pick, then you set up a potential push. But the safest thing is going to be waiting for that Roshan or playing around Infest ganks, which is going to be the call for now. It looks like they're going to group up as 4 and with 5 with the Infest.
Scan by Dire. Oh, he actually blinked into the scan. So LGD popped their smoke, and they're going to be heading that direction. A beeline that way. Will LFY head right into the pit, or are they going to go to the high ground just as LGD head that direction? Oh, 11 was about to head up there, turns back, goes up again, but they've already made their quick jump onto 11, and he will get punished.
He dropped
Courier
the
also going to go down.
He dropped the gem before he went high ground.
Oh, move it up for Victoria. Ward's also committed. This could be good for LGD. They make the move for Super, but Super's able to get off the BKB. But my God, what a hard hit fast coming out from them, and they're going to wipe out both cores just like that. Oh, man.
Can Arthur get away with this gem? Blink 4 stuff. He should, but he gets used. Oh no.
Nice catch from Maybe right there. He gets rooted in his spot, burnt up. He's able to turn around, get the Boulder Smash. He doesn't actually hit the stone with the roll, so he's not going to go so far. Oh, no. He does have the blink, though.
So does Ember. He wants that gem back.
He's on his trail.
He's got a remnant in 2 seconds.
He's got the circus items. Oh, Maybe knows where he's. Maybe sniffs him out. The instincts there from Maybe.
I think he might still live.
He's got the rolling boulder. Oh, he didn't block it. He was so close to getting in front of that roll.
Now does he get out, though? Maybe. Have you gone too far?
No, I think he's all right. As long as no one else is alive here, he still has the heals up. I don't think he's too afraid of Inflame with the Blink Lincolns at this point.
What are you trying to say about Inflame, Jack? Yeah. That was... Whew. Poor Bat. Like, he knew he was going from low ground to high ground, tough spot. He even was very responsible, you know. He's a responsible Bat. Puts that gem on the ground where he thinks it's safe before going high ground, then runs into 5 heroes, but they still manage to scout the gem out. And a great Echo Slam initiation or counter initiation from Victoria. Blowing up Lifesteal before it can rage. This is going to be the kind of the key thing to look at as this game goes on, and it does look like we are in for a kind of a nail biter of like a 50-60 minute game potentially. Is can LGD initiate and catch LFY before they BKB, or in the Lifesteal's case before he rages? If you can blow up a Lifesteal before rage goes, LGD can win the fight. Same for the DK with BKB. For LFY, you jump the Ember.
Exactly, like with this last fight, like it felt like they committed way too much to kill the Bat Rider. Because obviously, like, you kind of have to, right? You have to go in with the rage, because if the whole team is standing behind him and you don't rage, then you can just get blown up and owned by Echo Slam. Instead, the rest of LGD wasn't really there. They used the rage and the BKB, and then as a result, LGD are able to come in with that second round in between the cooldowns of LFY and take the fight there. So, a nice fight there from LGD, and the Gyro is starting to get farmed, and he just completed his butterfly. So, again, not the best hero matchup in terms of being able to man-fight the Lifestealer, but well, what's crucial for them is that they can really zone or kill the LFY supports very quickly. If the Earth Spirit or A are anywhere near the fight, they will go down extremely fast, and then you kind of
11's
just end up
positioning.
kiting.
They're going for Roche. He gets scouted by the Ice Vortex. He's like, I'm out of there. I can't stand there any longer.
Follow-ups there, though. They get a nice two-man
Nice
coil,
Jules.
two-man silence. The pop. Can't quite finish maybe yet, though. He tries to hide within the coil, but they're going to hit him with the grip and the magnetize. There's the stun, the hex, everything. And they're going to be able to finish him off. Maybe does have a buyback here. If they want to try to contest this Roche, the wards now getting picked apart a bit by Monet, while on the outside of the pit, the dunk is being made. It's going to be on the Monet, but he gets the slide out from the pit. They are able to get the follow finish onto Yao. Monet still swinging it out as Ame goes into action. That means maybe he's going to buy back. Looking to step in to help him out. He gets the chains down onto Super, trying to finish off the Dragon, but he gets stunned up. And Super slides up to the high ground, maybe not looking to let him escape. Or will he? He decides to pump the brakes a bit.
These 4 stops out of LFY, winning that fight. DDC, the hero in a lot of ways, saves Monet with the 4-stuff out of the Roshan pit when he's being chained down and blowing up, and also scouting out the Bat Rider on that cliff.
Already another call down.
Okay, Gyro may want to commit to this Roche. He can kill it pretty fast on his own.
Oh, Super jumps over to the other side, has to pop his BKB, walks in, gets the stun onto the Gyro, the jumps there from the puck onto those back lines, trying to stop out Victoria, but then he's able to get the fissure off. It's going to be maybe grabbing up the Aegis here. Super will be able to get the finish, taking out the Gyrocopter. Can they get the same onto maybe before? No.
He got Cheese too.
Jumps right on out with Cheese and Aegis alive and well in flame. Refuses to let this happen, tries to make chase. They settle for Yao, it looks like. But,
Shades of
man.
smell there from maybe the buyback, the managing to recover the Aegis and Cheese at the crucial time. They're disabled onto the Gyrocopter, managing to finish him off there.
Still feels like not the win LGD were hoping for, considering the investment of lives, buybacks, and everything that went into taking that Roshan. They walk away perhaps fortunate to have an Aegis and Cheese in their hand, because if they didn't, I feel like right now would be talking about, okay, they're losing 1 Rax, maybe 2 lanes of Rax because of how far behind they are. But this Aegis Cheese do make things a little bit more interesting, as it protects the fact that maybe he doesn't have buyback. He just used it to secure that. If he didn't get the Aegis, if he died there, it's game over.
Yeah, especially with their Gyro going down right there as well. Like,
Yeah.
you wanted him to be the beneficiary of the Aegis and Cheese for sure.
Game does get interesting, as maybe he's close to that level 25 talent, so he's going to get even more difficult to lock down in place and deal with. I imagine he's going for the cooldown reduction, given the nature of the BKBs, the rage, able to get out of that searing chains in various ways, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's got the control circus build going here, so most likely going to want the reductions on that.
Shaman, level 16 now, gets his little tomb. He's gone for this Ag Scepter, which did seem to do quite a lot of damage in that fight. Interesting, he's not going for the mobility. I think recognizing that anytime he's sitting there shackling, he's probably just going to get stunned and killed very quickly, so he wants to just get some guaranteed damage output from wards.
Okay, they are able to quickly pop the Lincolns and follow up with the stun. Maybe, though. Does get off the Yules. He's hit with the Ice Blast, which will cost him the Aegis here. The team is there, though, to answer the call. They move him with a fissure. A lasso grab onto Super as they pull him back. Hit him with the Veil, drop down the wards. Ame swings in with a call down as frantically LFY tried to escape the harassment coming out from LGD. They would love to be able to make it out with just the Aegis takedown, but they're not letting up. Now Monet looking to turn around onto Ame. Hits him a bit. Silence there for Yao, trying to swing in from behind. There's Victoria moving in, gets the dunk onto Monet. Can they finish him off? They need just a little bit more, and they will get it. Lifestealer now going to be taken out of the fight. DDC.
Oh, he's Cheese.
Self-Glimmer to make it on the other side. Ame now getting hit, harassed. But Super will get locked down from the shackles. They're trying to go for the finish. A step in from Afu with a good boulder smash might bail him out. He's able to get the blink and steps away, trying to earn himself up. Now it's going to be attention on to Inflame here from Maybe, trying to finish him off, but he's rifting out while they make the move for Victoria. They will get the Earthshaker down. Now it's just Maybe alive. He gets the Sleight of Fist off, and they're trying to catch off all of his escape paths here. He's made it towards the mid lane. He's able to jump away from the cold feet, though. Man, he's just able to get everything off. He remnants up further. Inflame tries to catch him, but there is the final pop of the Lincolns, and it looks like Maybe has just somehow made it out.
This Blink backpack, I kind of want to call it abuse. I feel like that shouldn't be a thing. You know, the whole point, you're taking damage, you can't use Blink. But when you put in your backpack and bring it back in, you can actually use Blink Dagger while taking damage. We're seeing all the players do it nowadays. Like, I think Matu was on the first I saw doing a lot. All the Chinese players, I think, do it even, I think, more so than the Western players. It is some crazy mobility. It's some very high-level stuff, but at the same time, you know, you're not meant to be able to blink.
Yeah, it's as if you freshly picked it up. A little bit like the Tinker, because there's like a slight delay as well when you've refreshed it, like in terms of the damage coming in. But a couple of little things there, like they still have an issue with holding the line, as we talked about with the gyro, and then maybe going with the armor instead of the flame guard absorption. I find this one kind of questionable because he's not going to last too long in a right-click situation against DK or Lifestealer anyway. He's getting the armor obviously to kind of avoid being bursted down, but he had a decent amount of armor to begin with, especially going Shivas, and then with the Flame Guard absorption, like I feel like he needs that more to like stay there and stay on to be able to deal damage.
Yeah.
It's like his only real source of...
Okay.
Right? It's like if he's dead and then there's just no damage there, like at the end of that fight, so...
I think there is a damage issue, but
right?
I think that maybe comes like more from getting like a Mjolnir or something in there. But going for a Shivas Goddess next time he's almost completed. Still not losing a Rax there. I think the other big thing is they're hoping to get damage output from their support. Shaker got a decent ultimate, but the Shadow Shaman, as soon as those Serpent Wards were planted, LFY relocated the fight. They're like, we're not going to fight on the wards on your side of the river. Let's move it back near our shrine on our side. Suddenly those Serpent Wards aren't involved in the fight. Shadow Shaman doesn't offer much in that scenario because his disables are very unreliable when he's this squishy hero that's can't get near these enemy cores. So without the Serpent Wards doing damage, I feel like LGD got no value out of that hero.
Yeah, that's a good point, and he's also because he went straight Ags and there's no blink, so his ability to close the distance and get off disables is even more limited in that sense. It really is about where the wards are.
How many Force Selves on the Radiant? They've got at least 2. It looks like just the 2, but they're being used incredibly well. The DK's Blink Dagger saved him on multiple occasions as well that fight. But here we go. Initiation from Super is going to look for a catch. He's got...
Man, LGD have been in the spot for so long, waiting on this high ground. 11 might be the one to scout everything out, but they've actually jumped onto 11 first. This could be deja vu, though. The commitment and the turnaround from LGD may be there. They committed with the wards. Buyback now from the bat as he TPs to the shrine, and I think LFY might try to relocate the fight once again, but look at Ame swinging it from behind. Drops in the call down as they flank Super and try to burst him apart. This fight belonging to LGD, it would seem. Even the chase on a DDC will be successful here. Maybe gets the last slash in, and the rest of LFY have tried to make it out, but only 2 alive.
That vision of the bat, but fighting at a shrine. Less about the actual heal in that situation, but acting as a teleportation location. Batrider is able to buy back, then immediately TP in and get that lasso on DK. So DK was not able to juke and jive and get out of there. He gets pulled back in and locked in place.
And maybe did go for the Searing Chains ultimately at level 25.
It's just wanting that extra lockdown outside of the BKBs are down to 5 seconds on DK. Rage will get an increase at level 25 though. You get that +1 second, which I feel like is likely the Lifestealer's choice. 15 armor is also a lot, both very nice talents.
All right, buyback from DDC. Afu has Monet. He jumps in with the blink. That's when the burst comes out. They're looking to focus down Ame, but he gets the BKB and quickly hightails it out of there. Not so fortunate, though. It's going to be 11. Gets caught out with everything. The open wounds, the coil. Now going to be jumped onto Victoria. He goes for the TP out, but nice boulder smashes there from Afu. And he will help them claim another life. The rest of LGD will be able to make it out.
I was a little scary there for the gyro. If he gets blown up at the start of that fight, he didn't actually have buyback money. He was 40, 50 gold short. He gets it now from this ancient camp, but yeah, he, I think, was inclined to. The second he got gone on and got his BKB off, he was like, I'm out of here. I don't have BKB. If I die, we may just have thrown the game. They are still playing from behind LGD, but not wanting to see a untimely end off of a critical mistake like not having buyback on a carry.
Maybe has just slotted up a Maelstrom / Mjolnir now. Helps a bit on kind of farming, on pushing the waves out a bit.
Let's get silence at top.
Yeah, jumped in, Super's there with that Bloodthorn, but yeah, quick Yules and Remnant away, and maybe he's out of there. Siege continues though on the mid lane here from LFY, enough to force out the glyph.
A lot of flak damage now with this +4 flak attacks, and this gyro, soon to complete an MKB, will be a serious damage threat in these fights.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's going to be Inflame with the delivery. First one to move in is going to be Super. There's the jump. Quick execution of Yao. No wards are going to be there for the fight, and they might be able to get down the Earthshaker. Oh man, both have no buyback and the gyro. Immediate buyback's going to be forced on that one. 11 TPing into the racks, tries to move in, can't quite get the lasso. Now he's going to get caught out with a cold feet, and he's gone. Oh, not good for LGD's defense. Wonderful for LFY as they begin to just chunk down the racks.
Well, it's all up to maybe now. You have to make some flashy moves.
Anticlimactic fight here. There's just so much exciting back and forth. LGD really felt like they were hanging on, but kind of just brute force overpowered there.
Yep. I mean, like it was like one pickoff turned into 2, turned into 3. I mean, the back gets picked off at the bottom lane, then the Shaker gets picked off, and then their high ground defense doesn't have a bat, and because they don't have a bat, Puck's able to just blink in, delete the Shadow Shaman, and then it's like, oh, as a result of that, there's no Serpent Ward, they're able to get the next kill, and Bat respawns, but he's 3v5. It really was just a good old-fashioned chain feed, you know. At no point in the last 2 minutes were LGD fighting as 5, you know. LFY have not been able to break high ground this entire game when LGD are alive, but LGD gave them kill after kill. At no point did LFY get punished for a single kill there. Every single kill was just an easy pick-off because they had a numbers advantage.
I do join Jack's sentiment, though. That just kind of sucks, unfortunately. That turns into a situation where it falls onto chain feeding, like you said, like that, where you miss out on the opportunity of having those clutch kind of defensive tools, like your Echo, like your wards. And you know, it's more credit to LFY for finding those openings and taking them and being successful with them.
Yeah, I think chain feeding implies it's all LGD making mistakes, but it's LFY recognizing their strength. Like, you've got a number, you're a 5v4, and it's not just a 5v4 with a support missing, it's the key initiator, the Bat. Play confidently. Go breach that high ground. They go high ground because Bat's dead, and then because of that, when the Bat respawns, he's lost 2 teammates.
Maybe Blink's in the lane. But Inflame at that moment also ripped it away. Nice slide out. They're trying to avoid the Ice Blast. Wards to the high ground, but they spotted Ame, and they quickly shred him up. He's going to be out without a buyback. And a beautiful coil, by the way, also going to get dropped. Victoria's dunk. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bit of a brick. And it is looking like LGD are swinging a bit, but this one seems to be all LFY at the end of the day, and it's enough to force them to submit. We're going to a game number 3 in this LGD versus LGD affair. Inflame with the revenge from the laning stage finishes off with a triple kill. Who's 0-5 now?
Felt like LFY just kind of hit their stride in the mid game once they got those infest ganks going, and there was just no solution to the magic immunity on Lifestealer and DK in those mid game fights. And LGD they had this Blink Bat Rider, but it was like, oh, we're kind of like, what do we do? We can't really gank. We're a bit scared. We got to just play the farming game, play for the late game, which Ember can kind of do pretty well, but it also means they had a much harder to execute draft. One mistake and suddenly you lose lanes of racks. And that's kind of what ended up happening in some ways.
Gotta give props to Afu. Played a great Earth Spirit game early on. Good roaming potential, was always there at the right time to... If he wasn't there to set anything up, he at least got a counter kill in some sort of way.
Inflame's puck, it was really good, other than the first 10 minutes. Yeah, it went 0-5 and ends 8-6 and 27.
Yeah, once he got the Blink Dagger and stuff, it came together. It came together. It was just a struggle, which was anticipated. I mean, do you think if maybe changed up the build at all, things could have been different? I hate to just isolate him like that. Or do you think that this was just necessary given the game?
I mean, I think like that's obviously like a part of a big plan. It's not like a last-minute decision that he makes, but it's just that it's just too hard to protect a relatively soft core like the gyro. Like there's so much burden on him to deal damage at that point, and like if he dies, if he gets hit by the AA ult, like he basically is not going to be able to do much damage. He's not, if Lifestealer gets on top of him, so then that puts the entire damage burden onto maybe, or as Gods mentioned, onto supports, and that's just a little bit too difficult. And then again, they don't have much margin for error when you play like that too. When you have a squishy lineup, you get caught or your supports get blown up, suddenly your cores can't even expose themselves anymore. So just a tough game for them.
Yeah. I felt like the gyro maybe was a little more underwhelming than the Ember, I think. I mean, the Ember, I think there was other possible routes he could have gone, but the gyro in most of the late game fights would just get gone on, wouldn't be able to dish out much damage. I feel like, and also made it so that the Bat didn't feel all too scary. Like Bat Rider would blink and lasso someone, but the follow-up damage was kind of lackluster. I'm trying to think if they had a lifesteal instead of this gyrocopter themselves, suddenly they're the ones with that instant pick-off threat that you lasso someone with an infested lifesteal, guaranteed kill. Like that's one hero deleted, but 11 ends this game 4-13 and 6, and that's the kind of scoreline I look at where I'm like, whoa, he actually had a really rough time. He wasn't finding kills, he wasn't setting up kills for his team, he doesn't have assists. All the kills and assists just came from individual plays out of Gyro, Ember. There wasn't really that team cohesion that we normally see from LGD.
Yeah, the DK is usually not a fan of fighting the Lifestealer either, and that, I mean, it just feels wonderful if you were able to play Lifestealer against that lineup. But that we're taking our imaginations for quite a spin.
I know. I mean, I don't know. I felt like it was pretty obvious that the lifesteal potential was there. You know, they could have looked back and if, ands, and buts, of course, and all that. But, banning the lifestealer in that second phase after you see a Puck and Earth Spirit picked up, it seems like it could have been something possible. But we'll throw that one behind us and get ready for game number 3. For Gods and Jack, we will return for more Beyond the Summit's English coverage of the Mars TV Dota 2 League. We'll see you soon.